Hello, sweet friends. Hey, everybody. How are you tonight? You want to grab your little phone in case you need it, Dee? How's everybody doing? Can you guys see us tonight? Hey, Tracy Jones. Hi, friend. How are you? You guys had a good day? I love it when we have a live, don't you?
I do, very much.
I love them. Hey, Brenda Griffith. Look at you guys. Can you guys, just do those hearts and those likes? Just a lot of times, because that just lets people know that we are here. We are so glad that you're here. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Linda. How are you? Let's see. I was looking to see. Tonight we are going to be talking about just more about Daryl's health journey and actually mine. And we want you guys to ask as many questions as you can. I'm not sure if everybody can see you. I know. You want to get back up up here, babe? So let's see. We're trying to get Britney on here. She has been so amazing and has helped so many people. Hey, Britney.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Oh my goodness, we have so many of our faithfuls on tonight.
Oh, yay.
Turn up my volume. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you great.
Okay. I'm wondering if everybody can hear us. You guys let us know. So you can hear us okay?
And can you hear me okay too? Yeah, everybody
you're just
respond.
a little bit quiet, but it might just be us.
Can everybody comment? Can you tell me, can you hear me loud and clear, or is it kind of soft?
It's soft on our end.
And your volume's up.
And my volume is all the way up. Let's see. Yep. Our volume is up.
I'm just going to turn my Bluetooth off in case something's happening there. Okay, what about
Becca
now?
said she can hear all of us, so that's good.
Is that any better?
Yeah, well, we can hear you okay, so
Okay.
Okay, Lindy said that she can hear fine, so.
Okay, good. Judy can hear us both. That's good. Hi, Felicia. And Ruby can hear us. Okay, we've got lots of people.
Turn our little our air conditioner gets a little bit loud, and so I was like, maybe that'll help us.
Annie, did you get your hair cut?
Do I?
Did you get your hair cut?
I did.
It's so cute.
My daughter Ashley cut it.
Love it.
So we have so many people. Hey, Regina. So Jimmy and Regina Wilson, Brittany, and for everybody else who's watching, they've come to several of our things. They drive over here from Georgia to come and see us. They're one of those, we call them a groupie.
I love it.
Yeah. So
nice to meet you.
Yeah. So everybody, this is, for those of you who don't know Britney, this is Britney Zedick, and she's been amazing, a huge part of Daryl's journey and mine actually too. I don't know if you guys, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been happening with me tonight also. So we're going to let some more people just maybe come on a little bit. Britney, do you want to tell them about you?
Yeah, sure. So maybe I'll just give you a little background on why I got involved in this. I have been just always one of those people that thinks, oh, health is important. I want to be healthy. I mean, who doesn't feel that way, right? We all want to take care of ourselves and do the best we can. However, I was doing it all wrong. And I learned this a little later in my life when my father got diagnosed with colon cancer. And he was only 58 years old. And this was a huge shock to us. Now, my dad had always fluctuated with his weight and his health. It had gone up and down over the years. And, at the age of 58, he had high cholesterol and high blood pressure, and his blood sugars were a little high. But that was relatively common for people his age. And he was seeing a doctor, and it was all being treated. So we didn't think much of it. he did have psoriasis, a skin disease, and there was a medication that he took from that from time to time to help calm it down, especially if we were going on a family vacation or something. But as we went down the rabbit hole of really trying to help my dad with his health, we learned that there were a lot of things that we should have been doing the opposite. We lived in a home, maybe some of you can relate to this, where the pantry was just kind of always open. It was like a revolving door of people at my house all the time. There was always friends over and there was always food involved. And even if we thought we were making healthy choices, there was always some reason to either celebrate. And so there were treats around, and then maybe it was somebody was having a hard time or going through a breakup, and food just was always the answer. And it really is a very connecting, bonding thing with families. And I love that about food, and I love food. And so when I found out that a huge part of the reason that my dad was as sick as he was had to do with his metabolic health, well, then it really got us on this mission to find a way to enjoy life and enjoy food, but not pay the price that we were paying. Because for my dad, you know, it was too late for him and there was nothing that we could do. The cancer was all throughout his body and we couldn't stop it. But it made me think of all the people who it's not too late for, who could still turn things around without having to sacrifice, you know, having some of the things they loved from time to time, enjoying the things that they loved, but also living, right? Like, and not just living, because I think there are a lot of medications that prolong our life and keep us living longer, but our quality of life is very poor. And that's kind of the mission that I'm on. Like, how can we not only live longer, but feel better and really enjoy the years that we have to the fullest? And I feel like that's where Daryl and Annie, and myself included, I wasn't in super poor health when I found what we're going to share with you tonight. I wasn't in super poor health, but I didn't want to be. I wanted to prevent serious issues, and I had some incredible benefits that I could have never anticipated. Things like acne clearing up and being able to get off acne medication, and my cholesterol that, you know, it wasn't to the point where they were trying to prescribe me medication, but my last 3 visits, they sent me home with the paperwork on how to change my diet because my LDL was too high and that I needed to cut back on red meat and eggs and all of those things. And so that all got totally fixed. And I eat red meat and eggs all the time. So that wasn't the problem. And I, on accident, lost 13 pounds. And it just kind of happened over like 5 months of resetting my metabolism and getting my hormones working for me. I was able to reset all of that and really have some phenomenal results. And I know that for me, I got to protect myself. I got to be careful because of what my genetics have in store for me. I have to really be vigilant. And so maybe some of you can relate. I've heard it said that genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. And that, I think, is very empowering because there's so much we can do so that we don't have to go down the road of what maybe our genetics are looking like for us, whether it's heart disease, diabetes, you know, mental health problems, weight gain, all the things that come with that, high blood pressure. We can go a different route. So sorry, that was long, but this is the mission that I'm on, to share about
I
this.
know. I mean, I was thinking about it, and I know that you and I have had this conversation, but you know, I heard you talk about it a year ago and sat on that information for a while and sat on it and sat on it for a little bit. And then Daryl just coming home last October and him just like, they're going to put me on another medication. I mean, I was very skeptical and Daryl was too, but we were like, you know, we felt like it was worth a try and trusted you and trusted Jody on the podcast. And then we just tried it. And it's kind of like, you know, a lot, you just everything changed for us. And that's really kind of what we want to talk about, is how this really helped Daryl.
We have a lot of questions coming in too. Do we want to get to questions tonight
yeah,
at some point?
Get to some questions.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yay,
sure.
good. Perfect. We'll make sure we get to questions tonight as well. But yeah, maybe Daryl, I mean, I'd be interested to hear, first of all, has everybody, well, maybe we should do it this way. If you have not heard Daryl's health story, maybe just put in the chat, not, like, so we know that you have not heard it. Also, if you've not heard Annie's health story, you can also write that in the chat, because I think it'd be a good idea, just because I have a feeling we always have a few new people that don't know what's happened for you. And Daryl, like, it means so much to me to see what's happened for you. The journey that you have been on over the last couple of years, maybe the last 11 years, really, not just a couple, is one that I think has come with like a lot of maybe disappointments and frustration and a lot of bumps in that road. And I think that's pretty relatable for a lot of people. So maybe you could just share a little bit about your story. Oh yeah, see, not heard either story. Not. Okay. So yeah, Daryl, would you mind just sharing your story? And then Annie, you could share yours, and then we'll answer some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, certainly. So this past April, 11 years ago, I had a major cerebellar stroke. It came very close to taking my life. And came out of rehab, went to a doctor, and they gave me several prescriptions to take. And one of them was metformin twice a day to control my sugar. And from that point, this was again 11 years ago, I started on a kind of a roller coaster, a yo-yo situation where I kept gaining and losing weight, gaining and losing weight. But I never lost enough weight to where I felt comfortable, but I sure could gain the weight pretty easy. And back in October, I wasn't at my heaviest, but my A1C was high. It was an 8.3. And my doctor wanted to put me on a third diabetic medication, a once a week shot. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to change. It was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. And I got to the point where I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so I wanted to do something. And Annie had been listening to Britney and Jody. And I was like, let's give it a try. Let's do it. And 4 months later, I was 20 something pounds lighter, 22 pounds lighter, and my A1C had gotten down to a 6. And then I went back a few months later, and I'd lost another 10 pounds, and my A1C was down to a 5.6. I know I could get down to about 200 on my own, and I'd done it several times in the past 11 years, but I couldn't maintain it. I couldn't stick with it. Not that the diet was anything horrible, I couldn't keep that weight off. And with this protocol, I have gotten down lighter than I have been probably in 30 years.
Yeah, well, we were actually talking about that this week, that his metabolic health and his weight is about what it was when he was 30. So I was thinking about it, and I'm like, who wouldn't want to be 30 again?
Yeah.
You know, if you were in good health. And that's just kind of, we were talking about, we were like, oh my goodness, like he hasn't, you know, he feels good. His numbers are so good.
Yeah.
And
I'm off the roller coaster. I'm not gaining that weight back. I used to get excited if I could get down to about 218, 215. I'm like, holy cow, if I could just get down to 210. But I could never really get down to that point. and I'm at 190 and feeling great.
Oh,
I just,
wow.
it's
Okay, well, so I'm interrupting because there's a few things that are happening in the chat. First of all, several people are saying that they saw that video that you posted of when you first walked through or got your house. And they said, when I saw that, I realized how different Daryl looks now, right? So I think a lot of people could see. And how many years ago was that?
That was 1 year
1
ago.
year.
1 year ago. Okay. So 1 year ago to now, go watch that video if you missed it. And that will be a visual that will really stick with you. I mean, you can see it, right? So there's that. And that's, of course, weight, which we all love to be at a healthy weight. But in my opinion, that's just icing on the cake. That's just a bonus to everything else we're seeing. I mean, Daryl just literally described reversing his diabetes. That is something most people don't even believe is possible. So that's huge. Everybody's saying, where do we get this? What is it? Tell me where I find it. So let's just tell them right now, and we're going to explain more about what it is and how you use it and answer all your questions and give you, Annie. Let me just tell you right now, you guys tell them where you find it.
Okay. So for more information, you can go to missannieshomeandkitchen.com/fiber. It's
That's
a
right.
lot. missannieshomeandkitchen.com/fiber.
That's right. Or if you go to that page, you're going to see their whole story. Okay. You're going to be able to see some pictures of Daryl and it's a little website. I'm going to put in the chat also, if you just go to youfeelgreat.com, it'll ask you for a referral code that will give you $75 off. And you need to put in the code Daryl, and you have to make sure you spell it right. So I just put it in the chat. It's DARRYL. That's the referral code for you. You like the letter U. Youfeelgreat.com, referral code Daryl. Okay. But you can also go to missannieshomeandkitchen.com/fiber and you'll see a little bit more info there as well. So either place will get you to get that discount. If you click the link direct from Miss Annie's Home and Kitchen, that link, you don't even need to put the referral code in. It will automatically take the price from $235 to $159. So you want to make sure you're getting that $159 price, because if you're not getting the discount. And we want to make sure that everybody gets the discount, because it's not a one-time discount. You actually get locked in for that discounted pricing by using Miss Annie and Daryl's link. So make sure you do it that way.
Right.
Annie, now they're asking, what is your story? So what's Annie's story?
Okay, so all of you, my sweet friends. So I know when I looked at that video yesterday too, I knew that you guys would probably see the difference between what it was a year ago and today. And so I've always been around between like 134 and 138, and I've bounced around in that and been totally fine with that because I eat well, I exercise, I go on my walks and all of that. And I just thought, well, this is a great spot and I feel okay. But after seeing Daryl's progress and everything that he was doing, I thought, you know what, I'm going to start drinking this because my brain feels a little bit fuzzy in the morning. I just sometimes can't remember stuff. And I know you guys call me the Energizer Bunny, and I do have a lot of energy, but I would find that I was just kind of just tired, had a lot going on. But watching Daryl, I thought, I wonder what it will do for me. So I started drinking it faithfully about February. And I was talking with Britney, and like in the last little bit, I mean, I've lost, I think about 15 pounds, and I don't want to lose any more, but I will tell you that I feel more comfortable than I have in a really long time. And just when I drink the Unamate in the morning, it just makes me feel, it just gives me clarity in my brain. And anyway, so I was asking Britney about it. I was like, I haven't changed anything. I've been eating the way that I've been drinking these 2 drinks and I've been walking. And so we were talking about it. And then I was like, tell me about this, Britney. So can you share with them what was really happening that I did not even understand?
Yeah, because Annie didn't come to this for diabetes. She didn't come to this for cholesterol issues. She didn't come to this for weight loss. I mean, really, it was kind of just energy and brain fog and stuff like that, right? And so then to kind of on accident lose weight, like, why does that happen? And will it keep happening if you don't want to lose any more weight, right?
Right.
Those are really good questions. And so the first thing, why did it happen, is because, you know, when we start aging, especially when we get into our menopausal, perimenopausal years, what happens is estrogen, the hormone, it naturally starts decreasing, okay? Which means that insulin naturally starts increasing. Insulin's also a hormone. And these 2 hormones are kind of on a teeter-totter. So when estrogen goes down, even though you haven't changed anything, insulin kind of goes up. And when insulin is up, we start gaining a little bit of weight. It just is naturally kind of happens. We don't change anything, it just happens, right? Some people gain a lot of weight. And so what we can do is get our hormones back balanced. We can kind of reset our metabolism, and we can reset our hormones by lowering insulin and becoming more insulin sensitive. Okay. So this is the goal. And this is what Annie was doing. Plus, there's 2 products that you get when you purchase the system that we're talking about. Okay. The first one is a yerba mate concentrate. And you literally rip the top off of this, mix it with hot water or in a big Stanley with cold water, your preference, and you just sip on it all morning long. It makes you forget about food. It gives you steady, focused energy. It kind of gives you a mood boost, like actual feel good feelings, and it shrinks fat cells. It also enhances muscle. So for all of us, no matter what age you are, we don't want to lose muscle when we're losing weight, right? We want to keep our muscle. This is important. This maintains and in fact enhances muscle while shrinking fat cells. Amazing, right? It also really helps with your liver function. So your liver is getting rid of oxidative stress at a quicker rate. And this is very important. And so here we are getting our liver working for us. Fat cells are shrinking, muscle cells are enhanced, and it helps your body produce a hormone called GLP-1. And so, Annie, what you probably didn't even realize was happening is when you're sipping on this, that GLP-1 hormone starts increasing. And GLP-1 is like a volume dial on food noise or hunger. So carbs and sugars specifically. So our carbohydrate and sugar cravings just turn down. And we don't feel that need for like a fix, like the dopamine fix, as strongly as we once did. And so even though you may not have even realized it, you probably did just eat a little bit less of those types of foods. You probably didn't grab a couple pretzels or a handful of this or a bite of that like you might have. And so if you couple this with some light intermittent fasting, sipping on this instead of snacking throughout the morning, and then you have your lunch, and then maybe you have a second one in the afternoon, you get 2 per day when you purchase the system, okay? So the 30-day supply comes with 2 of the yerba mate and 1 fiber. And the fiber is meant to be had before your largest meal of the day, which for Daryl and Annie, it's usually lunch for you guys, right? That's your bigger meal. But doesn't matter. Whichever it is for you, you're going to literally take this, and I'll show you exactly how you do it. When you order the system, it comes with this bottle, and the bottle has measuring on it. And so it tells you exactly how to measure this. So you will just literally rip the top off this packet. You'll pour it into here with your water. Give it 3 quick shakes, just like that. See, it's all blended already. And literally, you just gulp it right down. Don't set it on the counter. Don't wait. Just gulp it right down. Because if you let it sit on the counter, which is what I'm about to do, you're going to see what happens. It thickens up, okay? And the thickening up is a very good thing. That's just what fiber does. This isn't magic. This is just over 7 different forms of plant fibers. And the combination of this fiber matrix forms kind of this viscousy, gooey gel mesh. I'll show you what it looks like after it sits. It starts getting kind of thick. Okay, I have some here from earlier when I was doing this. Okay, it gets thick and viscous, and this is what we want to have happen inside our stomach. First of all, kind of fills you up a little bit. It's hard to overeat when you have this at the start of your meal. It would be equivalent to eating a very diverse, lush salad with over 7 different forms of plants. Most of us don't do that before every meal, but even if we did, this has forms of fiber that I can guarantee you do not normally eat. And so you are feeding and fertilizing your gut microbes, which helps with gut health, digestion, makes you feel full, helps lower cholesterol. That's a huge one. Really good for helping lower triglycerides specifically and LDL cholesterol. It also helps balance your blood sugars. And so Daryl was able to see that right off the bat, that this right here was thickening in his gut. And then when you eat food after that, it gets stuck in this gooey gel. And then that food doesn't get into your bloodstream as quickly because it gets stopped. And it slowly trickles into your bloodstream instead of normally what you would do is just eat and it goes straight into your bloodstream. But it gets stopped with this stuff. And this is very important. This is the magic of real whole foods. We just don't usually utilize this magic, and it's really nice to have it in your back pocket. Mm-hmm. Rip this, drink it down, eat the meal you were going to eat. That's it. And if you really want, you can order an extra box of this. I like having one before both of my meals. But the 30-day supply comes with 1 per day. It's a great way to start. You can always add more later. And this is a really good option. So a couple people have commented, Annie, I didn't even realize that you had lost weight by using the protocol. It's kind of a fun little bonus. I do not think, to answer the second question, that you're going to continue to lose weight. Because what happens is when your hormones balance and when everything evens out, then you're just going to stay at that healthy homeostasis that your body is thriving at. Mm-hmm. Right? And so you're getting proper nutrients. You're eating foods that have protein and healthy fats and fiber, and you're giving your body a break and letting it rest and digest. And we're lowering insulin and we're getting estrogen and testosterone and progesterone all balanced. So it's pretty fantastic how this works, and very, very simple. I mean, you can throw these in your bag and go to a wedding or a birthday party or on a vacation. And there's no reason, this isn't like typical diets that you think of where you're either on the program or off the program. It doesn't matter what program you're on. You just drink the drinks and you'll see massive benefits.
That's right. Well, and I was going to say, to our sweet followers, that was one of the things with Daryl. It was, while he was starting it and doing it, he was like, if I can do this, anybody can do this because of the simplicity of it. And the other part of it is the intermittent fasting, which you didn't think you could do. Do you want to talk about that?
I couldn't. I tried for 11 years to have a true fast for 24 hours, and I couldn't do it. Headaches, dizziness was uncontrollable. And with that dizziness came nausea. It was just very, very hard. This product, as I think Britney said, it naturally creates the GLP-1 in your system, which I don't feel hungry. And I'm able to do the intermittent fasting without any issues, which to me is a blessing. It's just, I couldn't believe that. Out of all the other benefits of the program, that what to me was the largest that helped me get to the weight that I wanted to get to and to bring my A1C down. So,
well, and one thing I wanted to mention, a couple people are asking, so I'm putting the website in here where you can find this with the $75 discount. But one thing I wanted to mention about this is you're going to get this at the discounted price that's going to cost you about $5 a day. So sometimes when people look at this, they go, oh, that's kind of pricey for fiber and for yerba mate. But if you really think about it, $5 is something that we frivolously spend often on a single beverage. Like maybe you just go drive through somewhere and get a drink and it costs you about $5, right? This is meant to be used with some intermittent fasting. So if you're skipping a meal and some snacks, you most definitely are saving that money.
It's a cost saving. Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a cost benefit to this. You may think it's a lot of money, but you are actually saving money
Yeah.
by being on this.
Yeah.
People all the time tell me, I think their grocery bill overall has gone down. And most definitely their shop and grab something, at the checkout stand or drive through somewhere real quick. All of that goes down because you are naturally increasing your GLP-1.
Yeah.
So one other thing I wanted to mention about this tea, that it's a yerba mate. So we call it a tea, but it's not really a tea per se, because it's not made from the tea leaf. It's made from the yerba mate plant, okay? And this has very high levels of a plant vitamin called chlorogenic acid. Look that up. I know you probably never heard of that word. Go Google it later and you'll see. Chlorogenic acid is naturally occurring in several plants. It's in apples and eggplant and artichokes, but it's in very high levels in this yerba mate. And there have been studies done on this plant vitamin, and it's literally like nature's metformin. It naturally makes you sensitive to insulin. And so the combination of this and then the balance, which has been proven to lower your blood sugar spike by 37% when you have it right before a meal, that's also stronger than metformin. So I'm not a doctor. I'm definitely not your doctor because I'm not anybody's doctor. So I'm not telling you what to do with your medication. Work with your doctor on that for sure. But it is very possible. I have seen it time and time again where people are able to cut back, ease off, and then completely get off their medications because this natural protocol is working better than medication in many cases for blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, weight management, gut health, GLP-1. It's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, it really is.
I've seen the question a couple of times, is it a temporary product? Is it something you just use for just a few months to reach your goals and then are you happy? Well, if you're saving money and it's changing your life, why wouldn't you want to continue to do it? And that's my thoughts. I'm kind of a simple person when it comes to that. So I really enjoy the benefits, and I don't ever really see myself coming off of it. It naturally puts your body where your body needs to be weight-wise. It's not something that I'm not going to get down to 175 like I was when we first got married, because I was working some really hard jobs at that time. And that was, I'm 65. That was back in my early 20s. So
yeah. Well, I appreciate you bringing that up because a lot of people are saying, so what if I don't need to lose weight? Please understand that this is not a weight loss protocol. A lot of people don't lose weight. It's not to lose weight. You will probably lose weight if you have weight to lose, but if you don't, it will just optimize your health. It will help you prevent disease. And it is a simple structure that feel fantastic structure. Like we have professional athletes that swear by this mate and literally can't get enough of it because it's enhanced their performance so much. So like muscle recovery, weightlifting, please know that this is definitely for you if you're struggling with your metabolic health, but it's also for you if you don't want to be struggling with your metabolic health. And a couple people have asked, I hope this is okay, you guys. I thought I would just read this. I have, because some people have said, where do I find out about this business? How do I hear more about that side of this? There was a woman, and if you're here, Becky, say hi in the comments. Her name's Becky. And Becky was listening to Daryl and Annie talk about this, and she thought, hey, this sounds like something that I could benefit from. So she purchased it, and she used it for maybe a week or two and already started feeling the difference. And she said, I want to hear about the business side of this because I know a lot of other people that could benefit from this. And of course, Becky knows people that Daryl and Annie don't know, right? And so Becky decided that she was going to jump in and become a partner and start sharing about this. She's not building a huge platform. She's not trying to, tell the whole world, but she has a circle of people that she wanted to share this with. And so she decided to join. And I just got an update from Becky that I wanted to read in our Facebook group. She said, my morning glucose readings went from around 200 to around 130 since March 12th. I won't take any diabetic meds. My doctor is very pleased. My A1C was 8.4 in March and now it's 6.2. I've also lost 20 pounds. I have a friend who has lost 6 pounds but is down 2 sizes in clothing. This heals from a cellular point. Everything will fall into place. And I just thought, okay, here's Becky personally having phenomenal success, but now sharing it with people who are, able to get into clothing that they haven't fit into for quite some time and we're stuck. And she's been able to be a positive impact in their life in just a small way by telling them that this exists, right? And when you decide to join, if you decide that that's something you wanted to do and share about this to your people, there are some pretty awesome benefits that go along with that for you and for the people you share it with. They get plugged in to our nurturing Facebook group. They also get access to that lifelong discount. And so I know that's not for everyone, but if you're someone who's a natural sharer and you like the idea of helping people, then you might want to take a look at how this whole business side of this works and just see if it's a fit for you. I mean, even if you're just a little bit curious, you should come listen in. There's no pressure at all. We just have an informative call that's happening on Friday. You can listen in, you can see how it all works and decide if it's a fit for you or not. And if you would like the link to join that call Friday at 2 p.m. Central, you just need to type in the comment section Zoom and we'll automatically send you the link for that call so that you can listen in. There's also another call that I highly recommend that you come to that is for everyone. This is not about the business, it's just about the products. And we have medical professionals on this call every week, and it's awesome. If anybody's been to a science call, pop in the chat and tell us what you think, right?
It's our favorite.
Put science in the comment section if you would like the link for the science call. That's tomorrow night. What time is it for you guys? 8 p.m.
Central.
Yeah, 8 p.m. Central.
And it's
Yeah.
so good. We love the science calls. They are so good. And I just want to, I've been watching the comments and Mom is on there, you guys. So be sure and say hello to Judy. My Aunt Janice is on there and my mom and Janice have been using the product and doing so well. And they are on the chat answering questions. I've seen Chris Cody, our wonderful friend, and his wife, Roz. We need to get him on so he can tell us his story. He has an amazing story.
His story is wow.
We'll do that the next time we have a meeting. He is incredible, but he has been answering.
I'm so intrigued.
Chris, go ahead and put on right in the chat like what your progress has been like, because it's been amazing.
Yeah, he just said he loves the science call. The science call is outstanding. And if you want to understand a little bit more of the science behind how the system works, coming to that science call will really help. Also, the Friday call where we explain how you can become a partner and get involved from a business standpoint. We explain a lot of the science there too. So either one of those calls would be really good. The Friday call, I will tell you, if you think that you could see you and maybe even one other person in your household using this, it's kind of a no-brainer to get involved. If you can think of a handful of people that can benefit from this, you should really take a look at how this whole thing works. We know that this is needed, and the people that you know are going to hear about this eventually. They're going to hear about it from a friend or a family member or somebody on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. It might as well be you that they hear it from. right?
Mhm.
And so, because you heard it here first from Daryl and Annie. And so we would love to help you with that. And so if that's, again, put Zoom in the chat if that's something you're interested in. And now, do you guys think it's a good time? Should we go through and answer some of the questions?
Absolutely, 100%. Let's do it because I've seen a lot of questions. I do see a lot of people saying that the science calls are great and they help to answer questions too. I'm loving that so many of you cute followers are watching the science calls. That's
I know.
so great. Oh my goodness.
And you know what else I love? I will say there has been a very strong presence in our little Facebook group. Now there's a customers only Facebook group. Okay. So if you're a customer, if you're using this system, you get admission into this private group that has frequently asked questions and before and afters and food guides and fasting calendars and all kinds of really great stuff in there. Okay. But we have had incredible participation from the Daryl and Annie group. So if you've been in that group contributing, seriously, thank you. Your questions, your comments, your experiences have added so much, and we just really appreciate you being in there.
Yeah. And I'm over there all the time and I love seeing all of our people. So let's go ahead and answer any of these questions that you see popping up.
Okay. So
some people have asked how it tastes and we love it.
Yeah.
I do the lemon. Daryl does mostly the lemon ginger, and then Daryl really loves the berry fiber, and I like both of the fibers. So anyway, we've learned to really. Not everybody loves it at first, but I like mine with lots of ice. Daryl likes his straight. So did you see some questions?
Yeah, I did. So there's been a couple people asking about numbness, like tingling, burning in the hands and feet. If they're dealing with those kinds of things, could this help? And so I don't know for sure what you're dealing with. I'm assuming maybe some form of neuropathy, something like that. And I can tell you that we have countless stories from people whose neuropathy has reduced 80%, 90%, 95%. Some people say completely gone. It helps so much with this. And so if that is something you're experiencing, it can be really helpful, not just for neuropathy, but also for gout, for things like skin tags or skin pigmentation issues, psoriasis, eczema, acne. We mentioned some of those skin things before. I think we don't always think about all the different ways that insulin resistance ultimately like can impact our bodies. And so yes, for numbness and tingling, I want you to remember Daryl's story. Okay, it took 4 months before he got to, you know, what was it, to 6 or so with your A1C, and then it was another couple before you. So you've got to be willing to give this time. I highly recommend at least 90 days. 90 days is time enough for you to get your A1C reading. A1C is a 90-day reading. And so whether it's A1C or something else that you're thinking about, this has a 90-day money back guarantee. And so the company knows that people are going to put this to the test, that they're actually going to measure with blood results what happens for them. And they feel so confident that if you use this properly and consistently, you will have measurable results, that they will give you all your money back, even if you drink every last packet, if you're not satisfied with your results. So I really love that and stand behind that too. Okay, is there sugar substitutes in the drinks? So that's a really good question. The drinks have a natural sweetener called stevia. It's actually a very specific part of the stevia leaf, and it's an incredibly natural form. If you've tried stevia before and you don't like the aftertaste, or taste chemically to you or something like that, just know that there's over 1,000 different forms of stevia, all different grades. This is a very high quality, high tolerance grape. Even people who are like, oh, I don't do well with stevia, do just fine with this. So that's what the products are sweetened with. If you do the berry balance, the orange balance, or the lemon Unimate, there is one product, it's the lemon ginger, that has a different sweetener, which they're in the process of changing that. They were giving a different sweetener for every now and then you have somebody who can't tolerate stevia. And so they wanted to keep one other option, which this one has sucralose. But because we've had such a high level of tolerance, even people who thought they couldn't tolerate the stevia have done fantastic. Now they're switching everything over to stevia just because it is a safer, more natural option. So really good in that regard. Please post the discount link. Okay, so You Feel Great. You like the letter U. YouFeelGreat.com. Referral code is going to be Daryl, Darryl, and we'll put it in the chat again. Let's see here. Okay, and then with it automatically coming each month. Okay, so yes, let me just explain this. People are asking about the subscription. So how it works is if you get on subscription, you're going to save $10 in shipping, and also in addition, well, shipping's a little different everywhere, but about $10 in shipping. And then you're also going to save an additional $10 off the product. So you save about $20 by doing subscription. So I do highly recommend that. The good news is you can cancel it anytime by logging on and clicking cancel. They do not make it hard. It's not like one of those things where you have to jump through hoops to cancel it. So I do recommend the subscription. That way it will just show up on your doorstep right when you need it, and you won't have to stress about that. Anything else you guys would add?
There was a question about the insurances, the way that they might be able to get reimbursed.
Yeah, FSA and HSA cards, if you have those, they cover this protocol. This protocol is not a medication, but it is a nutraceutical, which means that it's as strong as a medication, but it's natural and it doesn't have any side effects. And it's actually in the physician's desk reference, the PDR. And so because of how fantastically it works, HSA, FSA, they both cover it. And you can purchase it, a one-time purchase with your FSA or HSA card. But because I don't really recommend that, because I think you should do the subscription, I would try, if I were you, just doing the subscription and then just put your HSA card as the card number. And most of the time it goes through just fine. Sometimes people have to call in and do it that way. And I've also heard sometimes people are like, oh, I didn't know, or I had to place it with a different card, and they just send it into their FSA or HSA and they get reimbursed. So any of those can work. Okay,
There was
I
a
did
question
pay shipping.
There was a question about extra fiber in their diet that would come with the balance. That might cause an issue, but this fiber is so much different than.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just going to say, Daryl, you got it.
Well, it's 7 types of natural fiber, and it doesn't affect your body like other fibers would, and your body really likes it. And I was thinking about what is that study that Heart Place did?
Cleveland Clinic.
The Cleveland
Clinic, yeah, and how beneficial that packet was, and how it could change our whole society if people would take it. Basically, it would cut out the statins and cut that completely out of existence. Anyway, you do so much better at it than I do.
Daryl, I like you saying that. So what Daryl's talking about is there was a study done by the Cleveland Clinic, and it was a double-blind placebo trial. And so half of the group was taking a fiber, and the other half of the group was taking a fiber, and they looked the same. So they didn't know which one they were getting. So they wanted to see, like, could you just take an over-the-counter fiber? Like maybe Metamucil would do the trick, or Benefiber or something. Like, do you really need this one, right? Couldn't you just eat more fiber? And yes, eating more fiber would be fantastic for you. But is there something special about this, right? That was what the whole trial was done for. And their concluding statement was, such a product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis and potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid lowering prescription drugs, which are statin medications. And so everybody should have heard about this study, but it really is true that if you drink this, you may not need your statin. My husband was able to work with his doctor and got completely off his statin. Mm-hmm. And after he got off his statin, he was able to lose more weight. sometimes I think those medications kind of block us from, they have side effects. And so, yeah, I have loved to see that actually be true in my own home. Yeah, 90% of Americans do not get enough fiber. This is true, Jennifer, and actually a problem kind of worldwide. And so I think it's interesting if 93% of Americans have bad or damaged metabolic health, and 95% of Americans aren't getting enough fiber, those two things seem to go together, right? Like that's a little too close. I think it makes a lot of sense that most of us just aren't getting enough. On the packet, if you read the back of the box, it'll say 4 grams, and you might think, is that really like that great? Is that 4 grams enough? But when you mix it with water, then what happens is it forms this thick goo. You see, my bottle just went from clear to not clear. You want this to happen inside your stomach, and this right here acts like 15 grams of fiber in your system. So it really does pack some punch.
Mm-hmm. It really does. And it's just, again, we were very optimistically pessimistic, and then it just has worked so well and changed Daryl's life.
Yeah.
That we were like, we just can't not share.
Okay, I'm going to rapid fire.
Just had to share.
I'm going to rapid fire some of these questions because I know we're running out of time. Does it help with blood pressure? Yes. Fantastic for blood pressure. Blood pressure is often caused by insulin resistance because your blood vessels aren't dilating and constricting properly. And so when those get more insulin sensitive, your blood pressure improves. Daryl doesn't need to lose any more weight. Okay. You said it, then he'll stick with it. He's not trying to.
My body seems pretty happy where it's at. So.
Yep. Okay. So this is really good. A couple people are saying I struggled in the beginning, and then I realized when they first started taking this protocol, which some people feel fantastic in the beginning and others feel worse for like the first 3 weeks. That was me. Okay. So if that happens to you, don't worry. Nothing's gone wrong. Your body's having to level out and adjust. Stick with it. What they recommended, I agree with. Add water, add electrolytes, make sure you're staying hydrated. Those things are super important. It'll make a big difference. Helps fantastically with cholesterol. It lowers LDL and triglycerides, and it increases your HDL, which is a good type of cholesterol. So you'll be able to prove that on your labs. My husband has a heart murmur. Can he take it? Won't impact that at all. Shouldn't be a problem one bit. Let's see. Do either of these products contain caffeine? The mate does have caffeine in it. Now, it's not the same as like coffee or tea. It's more like the type of caffeine that you get in chocolate. So if you tolerate dark chocolate, you should be just fine with this, but you will notice like steady focused energy. Menopause symptoms. Okay, you can't not go through menopause, right? Like that's you can't avoid it altogether, but I will 100% say that it softens the blow. It just helps so much as you go through that journey. It will be better than it would be. Let's put it that way, okay? And we have heard that countless times. Okay, I'm a type 1. Will this be okay for me? It's so good for type 1 diabetics. Like so good. First of all, it'll allow you to fast, which you should be doing some fasting. You also really want to stabilize your blood sugar so that you don't have high highs, so that you don't have to worry about those low lows. And if you have a pump and you're using a ton of insulin, eventually you can become insulin resistant and start gaining weight and start having brain fog, belly fat, noticing that you're getting maybe skin tags or constant cravings for carbs and sugars. All of that tells us that even as a type 1 diabetic, you might be headed towards type 2, and we don't want that to happen. So this system is fantastic and totally safe for type 1 diabetics. Can you drink coffee? Yes, you can. Black coffee will not break your fast. If you want a different kind of coffee, have it with your meal. I have trouble with sodium levels being low, so I can't drink a lot of water. Okay, so I would recommend that you get a really good electrolyte that you add to it. I love Element or Redmond Relight. Those are really good. You can drink water, unsweetened tea, black coffee, as much mate as you want. I don't usually have 2 a day. I usually have like 4 a day, but that's fine. You can have as many as you want. So that's all fine and won't break your fast. Yeah, Cody, I just said the 2 electrolytes, Element and Redmond Relight. Those are my 2 favorites, but I know there's others out there, but those 2 do not break your fast. Does it constipate you or give you diarrhea? What happened for you guys?
It didn't affect me at all. What about you?
There were a few times where I had issues with diarrhea, but I think that's the cleaning out process of the drink. You know, it didn't happen very often, but at the beginning I had an issue or 2. But it didn't persuade me from sticking with it 4.5 months.
Powered through.
And that's, you know, that's
Powered
the
through.
trick, basically.
Well, so my husband was similar. He dealt with some diarrhea in the beginning. And actually, we had to go very slow with him with the fiber. We had to give him like half of a packet for 6 days and then slowly add. I was not like that with the fiber, but everybody's a little different. If you're like that, what it means isn't that this isn't a good fit for you. It means that you need the fiber, that your gut health needs some repair. And so what I would do is back it off a little and go slow and then just gradually increase. Think about it like building a muscle. You wouldn't just not go to the gym. You would just start with low weights and work your way up. And that's what you need to do with this. But if you stay with it and you have a little bit of gas or bloating and just kind of power through, it will not last. It's not like you're going to keep feeling like that. So stay with it. Yeah, it affected me in the beginning, but good a month later. Yep. Nancy said that she takes Miralax along with Balance. And if you're feeling constipated, that's totally an option. I like taking magnesium citrate. Everybody's deficient in magnesium. We have so many minerals that have been stripped from our water and everything. So I recommend magnesium citrate. That will just help you sleep good and keep you regular. Does it help with heartburn? Yes, massively helpful for heartburn, GERD, any of that. You'll notice a difference. You can drink anything with caffeine. Okay, I'm trying to see what else we've missed here. I kind of got buried for a second there. My doctor wants me on statins, but I refused. This has made me feel so much better on it, even in just a short time. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Linda, for sharing that. That's so awesome. Sandy says, what can you not eat or drink with this product? That's kind of the beauty of this. There isn't really like anything you can't have. However, you will probably notice after the first month or so that your food preferences kind of start shifting and you just don't want some of the not so healthy options anymore, which is really different than thinking you can't have them, right? There is a food guide in our group that you can have access to that tells you foods that enjoy, moderate, and limit. And if you want to follow that, I recommend it, but you don't have to. How many packets you use per day? The 30-day system comes with 2 mates and 1 fiber per day.
So I could explain how I take it. What I do is I get up around 5 in the morning and I leave the house around 5:30 and I've got my unamate for my drive to work, which is about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. And I'm not done with it when I get to work. So it's a slow drink. You just sip on it. And once I get to work and I'm settled in, you know, I eat lunch around 10:30, quarter to 11. I drink my Balance, and then I eat whatever Miss Annie has cooked over the weekend.
Those videos that you see me cooking, they get meal prepped.
Meal prepped, and that's what I have for lunch. And then I mix up my second unamate around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I drink it on the way home. And when I get home, if I'm hungry, I'll have something, a salad, a bowl of soup, something light, not much, but you know, I usually don't eat after 5:30, and then, you know.
Start the whole thing over again. Yeah. I love it. Have you noticed in your sleep?
He usually tries to take a walk every day after lunch.
Right after lunch.
Good. Yeah.
Because that brings that blood sugar down. And
Sure does.
we will share this because this was really amazing. The other day, Daryl, how many days he was 100% of the time in green because he's been wearing the glucose monitor. Just this week, 100%.
I think today will be 4 or 5 days without going out of green. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
it's amazing. I watched it today when I walked, and it was up. It was not quite to the edge, and then I started walking, and down it came.
But the whole time he's been on the system, he's been in green, like an average of 97%
97%.
97% of the time he's been in green. Like,
Wow.
it's amazing. It really is amazing.
That's so awesome.
It's given so much hope. It's a lot. It's like hope in a packet.
Yes. Oh my goodness. It's willpower in a packet and hope in a packet.
Yeah.
It's really great.
Yeah.
Okay. A few more things. Gallbladder, no problem. Somebody said, I don't have a gallbladder. Can I still take this? Yes, no problem. Somebody else asked like about sodas, like diet sodas and things like that. I'll just say that there isn't like a right or wrong answer on this because really you kind of have to test it yourself. Every body is a little bit different, but there are a lot of people who feel hungrier after they have a diet soda, or they feel like they need another one and another one, which can indicate that you are getting an insulin release that brings your blood sugars down, which makes you feel hungry. And so just to be safe, I would recommend just have your diet soda with your meal. That's probably your best bet. It might not break your fast, but it might. Yes, fasting is really good for your blood sugars. And yeah, if you're on a blood thinner, that's no problem. There's no medications that can't be taken with this. And your doctor can even look it up in the doctor book and they can read by name and see that this can be taken alongside any medication. Even if you're on a weight loss injection, blood pressure, you name it, you can take this while you're on your medication and then just work with your doctor to taper off. You do use the products every day. People are asking like, well, what if I want to cut them in half to save money? You could do that, I suppose, but if you're really trying to maximize your results and get the most out of your money, I would recommend using it properly and just see what happens for you. Just go all in and give it 90 days. Is it okay to take vitamins and supplements? The Balance has a multivitamin kind of mixed into it. So I don't take my multivitamin anymore, but I do still take vitamin D and creatine and magnesium citrate and collagen. A couple of people have asked about collagen. Most collagens break your fast, so you want to have those with your meal. Can you drink the Prime drink? So same thing. If there's like a 0-calorie drink, you're probably fine. Like it probably doesn't break your fast, but if you want to just play it safe, just have those with your meal or have those in the afternoon after you've already broken your fast. Did you guys see any other questions you wanted to address? I know there's a lot we've missed here. The fiber is meant to be consumed right before you eat your meal. How long are you fasting each day, Daryl? And how long are you fasting, Annie?
Well, I start my fast about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the evening, and I don't break it until around 10:30, 11 o'clock the next day. So that's
17 hours?
yeah, I was going to say, do the math.
Yeah. I had to use my fingers, but you know, it still works. What about you, Annie? What's your, about how long?
About that too. I do about 16 hours.
Yeah.
I do.
That's what I do too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Now, some of the questions that are coming in, we have answered. So some of you might want to go back and just watch the replay of this or kind of just speed through it when, and you'll be able to change the playback speed and you can watch it. But we have answered a lot of these questions. If we did not answer your question, feel free to direct message me at MindBodyBrit, direct message Daryl and Annie. We will get back to you. Absolutely. We want to make sure that your question gets answered. If you have IBS, somebody just asked, this will help you so much. So many people with gut dysbiosis have had huge benefits. So yeah, and lots of people like, wait, so Miss Annie's using it? Yes, this is for you if you are struggling with diabetes or high blood pressure or high cholesterol or, you know, weight management, gut health issues. But it's also for you if you want to get rid of headaches or brain fog or fatigue, or if you need a mood boost, or if you want your hormones to be better, or if you want your skin to glow, or if you just want to prevent serious disease and you want to keep your gut health A plus, you should use this system. Anything else you guys would add?
Just give the link one more time, missannieshomeandkitchen.com/fiber. And it's either Daryl or there is another code down there at the bottom that they can use.
Perfect.
Brittany, we just want to thank you so much. You know, we have been learning.
And we can't explain it like you can. You do such a wonderful job.
And we've been trying to learn and understand. We just, like I said kind of earlier, once we realized how it had really helped Daryl, and like the light bulb went on in the last week or something, realizing that Daryl was like, he was like 30 again. And then I will share this, and you probably didn't see this video, but Daryl has these pants that he loves. And they have shorts also. So the other day he did a pants video and a shorts video. And I want to point this out to our people, because the thing that I loved the most was in the shorts video, Daryl's ankles were not swollen. He had swollen, irritated, red, inflamed ankles since he had the stroke. And if you look at that video, you can see the bones of his ankles. He used to wear compression socks. None of that anymore. And so because of this, again, this is just something I will say this, we knew when we started talking about it that we would get some criticism, and we're okay with that, because we were like, we tested it for so long, for 4.5 months. And then we decided we can't not share, because we love all of our followers, and we know that they struggle with the same things. You get in your 50s and 60s and you kind of think that at some point you're going to be put on blood pressure medicine, because that's just the way of it. And now we've just kind of learned it doesn't have to be that way. So anyway, thank you, Brittany, for being willing to share what you learned and what you know because of the loss of your dad. We so appreciate that.
We truly do.
Like, it's a miracle to us. And so anyway, so I just want to thank you for that. And thank you for being patient with us as we try to learn, so that at some point we can talk to our followers about it. Yeah. In a way that makes more sense.
Hey, it's okay.
Sometimes we don't know.
And not everybody even cares about the science. Let's face it. They're just like, what do I do? And give me the drinks, you know? And that is honestly the most important thing. Buy the drinks, drink the drinks, do it properly, give it time. You will have fantastic results. And if some of you are sitting here thinking, well, I know people that need this, we need help. Like we genuinely, we cannot shout this loud enough. We want to get this in more homes, and we need help. So if this is something you might consider sharing about, please put Zoom in the chat, and we will send you a link to come listen in on a call, how you can link arms with Daryl, Annie, and I, and help us spread the news about this. We are looking for people to work with, okay? So please join us. We would love to have you. And also to those who are in the chat saying things like, this has been a God week for us, and this has changed things for us, and we feel better, like, sharing your story is going to help save lives. I promise you that. Like, there are going to be people that are going to hear about this because you were willing to say what it's doing for you and what you're noticing. And it can be a total, people don't even know it exists, and it can be a total turning point for them. So thank you for being willing to share, and hope to see some of you on the Zoom call on Friday and tomorrow night on the science call. Type science if you want to come to the Zoom science call. And my brother will be leading that one, so you can meet him. Trent, if you've come to one before, you know Trent. Yes. That is all. I think, yep. And I think the thanks to Janice and Judy and all those in the comments helping. We appreciate you guys.
Thank you guys so, so much. Well, thank you, Britney. Love you to pieces. Thank you for all that you've done and how you've helped change Daryl's life. We love all you cute followers, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye.